Welcome to our Join the Board, Meet the Board, and Join Our Team event. We hold this event every year to recruit for our next year's committees. It's usually held in an open house style, but unfortunately, because we cannot meet in person, we'll be doing this as a webinar. But on the plus side, if you have some friends who couldn't tune in to this webinar, or if you want to review some of the slides afterwards, this will all be posted on the website sometime next week. All right, so I'll just quickly introduce myself. My name is Tim Nguyen. I've been a volunteer with SPE since 2014. I think it was about this time, 6 years ago, that the young professionals recruited me at a Thirsty Thursday event. I joined them as marketing director for a few years, and then I moved on to the Calgary Second Board as lead for a few years. This year, I took a G&D lead and led the energy literacy initiatives. And the following year, I will be coming back in as chair of the SPE Calgary section. So as you can see, there's a lot of progression and variety that you can take if you volunteer with us, if that's what you want, or we have a lot of volunteers that are great at what they do and have been in their same roles for many years. So the Calgary section is a nonprofit society engaged in energy resources and production, and our focus is mainly on technical events, technical programs, as well as networking events. I won't read through all this because it's going to be posted, but I just wanted to touch on some of our core values, what we're committed to, which is technical excellence, thinking globally, providing value to members, as well as volunteerism and stewardship. Now, we hear a lot about SPE. There's a lot of, SPE is a huge organization with many initiatives, but I kind of very vaguely broke it down to what some of the biggest groups are known for. So SPEI, SPE International, they're most visible to me because I get the JPT magazines in my mailbox every month. I read a lot of their peer-reviewed journals, but they also have a lot of other resources, like they organize a distinguished lecturer program where they send distinguished speakers all around the world on tours to share knowledge about their work in their areas of the world. SPE Canada is also located in Calgary, but their biggest initiatives and roles are through workshops and conferences. And SPE Calgary, as a local section, we're more focused on local events that bring value and are relevant to the companies here in town. We've got technical luncheons and breakfasts. We have social events. We've got student sponsorship, as well as some community outreach and a couple of membership engagement activities and section awards. Now, this is just a big org chart I think I found on the internet. I've highlighted in yellow where we've kind of trickled down in the SPE umbrella. So at the top, we've got SPEI, SPE International with Shauna Noonan as the president. And within them, there are 7 regional sections, Canada being one of them. And in the Canada section, there are all the local sections like ourselves, led by our chair this year, Laura Whedon. There's also the SPE Canadian Educational Foundation, led by Melanie Pop, also based in Calgary, but they're mostly responsible for scholarships that are distributed out to students in Canada, as well as funding some of the initiatives that they think add value to Dartmouth history. Now, our year runs from September to June. Typically, we hold technical events twice weekly, as well as social events every 1 to 2 months. We've dialed it back a little bit this year just because we wanted to focus on what we thought our members needed the most. And we've also kind of dialed it back a little bit more because of the quarantine, and we actually converted most of our luncheons into webinars, which I believe are free for members. So if you're wanting to check out some of our technical luncheons for the rest of April and May, they are all available on our website, specalgary.com. And this is a dashboard with some of our membership numbers. Just at a glance, it kind of shows our membership numbers declining from 2014 on. Our members by age group seem to be fairly evenly distributed between 35 and younger, which we call our young professionals, the 36 to 54 age group, which is like mid to late career. Those are senior professionals at 55 and older. Our members are mostly in reservoir, in the reservoir discipline, is what they've declared. Another question that I get asked pretty often is, if do you have to be an engineer to participate or to volunteer? And the answer is definitely not. As you can see on the pie chart, less than half of our professionals classify themselves as engineers. We're consisted mostly of, just professionals that work in industry. So why volunteer? What's in it for you? I volunteer. I've been a volunteer for 6 years, and I come back every year because it's incredibly rewarding. We work with so many competent, dedicated volunteers. We have big dreams, big goals, and just a lot of amazing people to help us achieve all those goals. And so that sense of achievement is really what brings me back every year. And I think that's incredibly rewarding for, everybody I work with. As a volunteer, you'll have a voice in our activities and all of our initiatives, have your ideas be known and executed, as well as develop new skills, expand your portfolio, expand your network. And I think there's a lot of value in being an SPE volunteer. All right, now this is the org chart for next year. So you'll see myself as the chair, incoming chair in September. Laura Whedon will come back as past chair. We haven't elected chair-elect for next year just yet. We've got our secretary, Adam, as well as Kent, our treasurer, and our staff member, who we absolutely cannot live without, Kristen, who is managing most of this. And we've got 8 portfolios, and I'll actually it's on the next slide so you can see all of their faces, and you'll be able to meet most of them in a second. So again, I've got Laura as chair, Attila as past chair, myself, Sylvia as technical programs lead, Ashley as the social and networking events, Bob taking on membership recognition, Adam secretary, Jamie, who can't be here today, as communications lead. We've got our young professionals chair, Justin, our treasurer, Kent, and Melanie, assistant on educational support. And we've got a sponsorship team, but we don't currently have a board member leading the team. All right, so our goals for next year, we're sitting at a time with a lot of uncertainties, so ambitiously, or hopefully next year's activities will revolve around rebuilding morale, trying to find some sense of normalcy again, and hopefully coming out of the pandemic, as well as the crashing oil prices. So we've got awesome leadership. We're going to be innovative, we're going to be adaptable, we're going to be ready to pivot based on whatever the economic landscape looks like. We'll constantly be assessing and focusing our activities based on the needs of the industry, as well as just making sure that all of our resources are focused to providing the best value to support our members. But if I were to write down some goals that I actually want to present for next year, I'd want us to address kind of 3 really big issues, I guess, in the industry. The first being the lack of public education about what we do, the numbers of young professionals who have chosen to leave the industry, as well as trying to motivate young people to pursue careers in our industry. And the third being the vast number of members in transition whose careers have been impacted by the economic situation. And I feel like it's been an escalating number, and it's still going to be growing by the time we start activities next year. So we really want to reach out and provide the support that our members are going to be needing. And the fourth thing that I'd like to set as a goal for next year is to work more collaboratively with other societies, find those with common goals, and just leverage on each other's efforts and resources to make sure that we have the biggest impact altogether. First up is the events group, and I will let Ashley Caria take it away.
Oh, I think I'm muted still.
You're good, I hear you.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Kim. Hi, guys. I'm Ashley. I actually haven't been with SPE for too long, just about a year, but it has been extremely rewarding. I initially joined SPE just to get some leadership experience. It has definitely served that purpose, and it has really exposed me to a lot of different professionals in the industry. So I guess I'll give you a little bit more information about the events team. It's arguably the most fun subcommittee to volunteer with. We get a lot of freedom to be creative with the type of events we plan. We do everything from big scale events like ski trips and golf tournaments to smaller events like whiskey tastings or escape rooms. It's pretty relaxed. And in terms of time commitment, I guess it depends on what kind of position you're looking to fill, because I will be going on mat leave in June. So there's going to be a spot open to take over what I do as events lead. And then I believe we're probably going to look for 1 or 2 more people to actually join the subcommittee. And then we're always looking for volunteers to help us with events, just like setting up and taking down kind of one-off requests. So in general, if you're looking for a spot on the subcommittee, I would say it's about 1 to 3 hours a month. We try to do 1 event every month except for in the summer months. It's great for anyone who prefers to volunteer on weekday evenings or the odd weekend. I think we had 1 event on a weekend, which is this past year, which was our ski trip. And generally each person on the team on the subcommittee will take on 1 event, like they'll take the lead on it. And you're supported by the other people on the subcommittee, and then you'll help with other events as your availability permits. The biggest perk of volunteering with events is you're kind of like the go-to, the biggest perk is the networking opportunity, period. Because you're kind of this go-to contact when people attending the events have questions. And then you will also get access to attendee lists, which is really helpful when you're looking to meet someone for the purpose of learning more about a specific topic or profession. And I would also say, if you're someone who struggles with networking, maybe because it's intimidating or you're just not sure how to do it, then this would be a really safe place to improve upon that. Our subcommittee is very supportive and approachable, and many of the members have been planning events for several years, which sometimes is the best way to learn a skill is by watching someone who has been doing it and then practicing it yourself. Anyway, that's my pitch for events, and I hope it entices some of you to give it a try.
All right, hello everyone. This is Silvi Livescu. You can see my picture, the one from the left at the bottom of the slide. So I am currently the Technical Programs Director on the Calgary Section Board, and I'm overseeing about 11 SIGs this year, including about 40 volunteers, very dedicated volunteers. And so the technical programs are the technical phase of the SPE Calgary. Many of you are attending technical events during the week. So we have 2 technical events every week. We had actually before this situation with the virus. And so we are holding the SPE flag for technical excellence. And we are struggling, we are doing our best to keep the technical excellence among our SPE members in Calgary. And so we always are looking for dedicated volunteers. As I said, our team is very large, and I want to thank again all our SIG leads and SIG subcommittees members for everything they have done through the year. This is always an option for all of you if you want to get involved with technical networking and technical planning for our members. So if any of you is interested in planning the technical events, please contact me or Christine or Kim, and then we can talk more details from there. The goals for the next year are pretty much to hold the technical excellence as much at the same high level as before, despite all the industry situation, with the low oil price and everything else going in Calgary. And so another challenge is that most of our members right now are more and more interested in virtual events. So we have to find a balance actually between the in-person technical events and online technical events. And so that's an uncharted territory. We have to find a way to deal with it. Another thing is that going forward, we have to make sure that SPE Calgary is coordinating much better with SPE Canada and SPE International in terms of technical events. For instance, if we are going virtual from now on, it's much easier to plan technical events from all over the world with speakers from all over the world. So that's actually a great opportunity going forward for us to learn more from what's happening outside of Calgary, outside of Canada, and to be up to speed with all the technical events that are happening. And so maybe you saw on the SPE board chart that actually next year I'm not going to serve as the technical program director anymore. That's not because I stopped caring about SPE Calgary, but because I'm going to serve on the SPE International board. And so if any of you is interested in this position in particular, please contact me and we can talk more details later. Thank you for your attention, and yeah, please send me your questions.
Hi, I think you guys can hear me. So my name's Laura. I'm the current chair of the SPE Calgary section. I'm just filling in because we actually don't currently have a sponsorship lead. Unfortunately, he was fantastic, but he ended up taking a job on the other side of the world. So we currently don't have one. So the role of sponsorship, either for the team or lead, is to effectively, we can't operate without some funds. We do charge for events, but most of the time we're not, making surplus money. We try to keep things as affordable as possible for all of our members. So we need to kind of get some surplus money in addition to this. So, if you are interested in, making first time contacts with potential sponsors, being creative about thinking about how we can fund in different ways, we develop a sponsorship package that you can use to go out and talk to new companies. We also are looking for people who are really good at communicating and maintaining the relationships that we've already built with existing sponsors, because we need to make sure that we're upholding all the agreements that we have with them and that they're being represented in the best way possible. So if you're interested in sponsorship, it's a lot of fun, a small team, and everyone works very closely together, and we link it with the Young Professionals sponsorship. So we have just not only the section, but also the Young Professionals working together on our sponsorship. And that's sponsorship.
So this year was the first year that we decided to focus the G&D team entirely to energy literacy, which I think is incredibly important because we are a section in Calgary. So I don't know, I think many people have seen some of the Fracking with Jello take-home kits. They're cute little kits that are, lasagna pan size, or little take-out lasagna pan size, and it has everything you need to conduct your own Fracking with Jello experiment, along with what happens in real life and some frac facts. And those have been really popular with companies, and we brought them to a bunch of our events that we participated in, such as ATCE, as well as the State Family Day event hosted by the young professionals. We've attended teachers conventions this year to rally for interesting classroom demos and actually have a decently long list of teachers who want us to come into their classroom and talk to their students a little bit about the industry and do the experiment. And so that's one of our biggest goals for next year. We'd like to have a team active and ready to go to classrooms and teach a little bit about energy literacy to students and teachers. So we have a bunch of postponed events because, again, because of COVID. That's the Earth Science for Society event, the Spartan Controls STEM Day, as well as the Global Energy Show, which has all been postponed. And so with all that extra time on our plate, our team has decided that they want to keep working and they wanted to prepare for next year. So we have a group working on a classroom toolkit to train volunteers on how to deliver a presentation to classrooms. And we also have an Ask the Engineer webinar, not really webinar, they're only like 1 to 2 minute clips. It's just questions that people submit and they're just short clips answered by one of our engineers that we post to social media, and we just follow them up with more questions. And we're hoping to do this every week until summer or until the end of isolation. And so yeah, for next year, we just want to maintain the momentum and bring more energy literacy into homes and offices and classrooms. So what we're looking for are people who are passionate about energy literacy and have a lot of cool ideas, very innovative, or just want to be part of a really fun team. I would argue that we are the funnest team, but you know, obviously I'm biased. So yeah, if that sounds like something you're interested in, then pick us.
Okay, so everyone's going to argue they are the funnest team, but really I think we all know the YPs have the most fun. So I'm Justin. I've been with the YPs now for 5 years, and this coming year will be my 2nd year as YP chair. So the YP committee really mirrors the Greater Calgary Section Committee, but the focus of our activities are really for those people under 35 years of age or with less than 10 years of experience in the industry. Our committee has just under 30 members, and it's really built around 3 key pillars. So the first is events, second is programs, and the third was G&D, but as Kim was just mentioning, has shifted more towards energy literacy events. And then supporting these 3 pillars are a marketing team, sponsorship, and treasury as well. So over the past year, looking at just events, we tried to put on events typically once every 2 months. So since June last year, we've put on 6 different events, and these have ranged from industry mixers to charitable events to sporting events such as bowling or ski trips. And these are really more social networking type of events to get people out and mingling in an environment that you typically wouldn't meet people in professionally downtown. So over the past year, for example, on the charitable side, we've raised over $3,000 for the food bank from some of the Christmas mixers and other charitable events we've put on. Typically, these events attract between 30 to 100 attendees, with our largest event having just over 200 attendees. On the program side, we try to have a luncheon at the Bow almost monthly from about September until March, April type of time frame, taking the summer off, recognizing that most people are out of town during this time frame. These are typically higher level topics ranging from global energy trends to featuring new technologies. And these luncheons typically range from 50 to 70 attendees. Lastly, as Kim mentioned, is the energy literacy arm. Most of our team here works collaboratively with the Calgary section team to really organize and host different events across the city. So I won't belabor this too much, but other events that Kim didn't mention include, say, going into companies downtown such as TransCanada or Husky and helping do demonstrations there and really teaching either employees or kids of employees or whomever it may be, what is oil and gas and why is it important in our society. So looking forward to next year, our big goal for the coming year is really to try to rebuild a city-wide YP network where we saw it throughout this, especially through this COVID-19 contraction, where you're seeing a lot of isolation and people not being able to connect with each other as well as we used to be able to. And feedback we've received over the past couple of years is it's very difficult for YPs to network and meet people outside of their own company. So that's really something that we're trying to increase the engagement with, is building that community throughout all of Calgary. And if any of that interests you, that's really who we're looking for, is motivated, energetic people who just want to connect YPs and are passionate about doing that.
Hi everyone, I'll just start again. My name's Melanie. I'm the lead for educational support. My picture is down below there, as well as my fabulous 5 team members. And we also have a lot of fun with the students. So we support 3 different student groups, the U of C student chapters, the U of C, SPE, and University of Toronto. And we do a number of events throughout the year. Just to name a few, we evaluate and hand out the Oliver Day Coteau Scholarship. We'll have a booth at the Earth Science for Society Expo, where we'll run through energy experiments with school-age students. We also help host industry nights and speaker panel events at SPE and U of C. That's where we'll help them find speakers as well as companies to have booths. And we'll also help students transition from academia to the workforce and look out for summer jobs, internships, and new grad jobs for them. In terms of time commitment, on average, I'd say it's, maybe 1 hour per week, and it's usually weekdays, Monday through Friday. In terms of the benefit to you, probably the biggest benefit is if you are looking to upgrade your skills and you're wondering what are the hot new skills that employers are looking for, such as data science, machine learning, Python, that sort of thing. These students have those skills and they can share them with you as well. You'll meet people, professors from the universities here in Calgary. So it's a great way to understand what are the hot new skills, and as well, because we help the students find work. A lot of times, if maybe you're looking for work yourself, if a company may be hiring a young new graduate, maybe they may be looking for a more senior professional as well. So it's a great way to keep your finger on the pulse of industry. So if that all sounds awesome to you, we would love to help you.
So I'm back again. I'm just filling in for Jamie, who is actually the communications lead, but she couldn't make it today. So basically the communications team is, they effectively curate all of the items that go out. So the Instagram, the emails, the quarterly newsletter, the Facebook, LinkedIn, and they work really closely with Kristen, who often sends out a lot of those things and actually hits go. But the communications team comes up with things like the branding. It's really important that we are concise, because I know how many emails everybody gets every day and how many do you actually read. So we try really hard to make sure that we're lining things up so that it's quick and easy for people to read, and we're always looking for ideas of how to communicate better so that people can get the snippets of information, know what's going on, and move on to the next thing, because realistically we know that no one reads the big long emails. So if you're interested in getting involved in communications, check it out, and especially those people who are into social media and things, we would love to have more people who are into communications.
My name's Bob Pearson. I'm the lead for membership and recognition. Like Sylvia, I'm stepping down this year, not because, because I've done 3 years on the board, which is more than enough, but also because I've got a position on the SPI board. This is the least demanding of all the committees. I like to think that it has got a lot of leverage. But this is probably the committee for the introverts who like to move the society forward, but don't want to be right there in everybody's face. So 2 big pieces here: recruitment and retention, which occupies us in the first half of the year, and then getting recognition for our members, getting them on the podium for regional and international awards, and then for our own section awards, which usually are part of the AGM, or this year will be a separate event. The other piece that we're doing is trying to come up with some creative ideas for members in transition, and to keep on expanding the reach of the SPE. As somebody said earlier on, you don't have to be an engineer to be a member of the SPE, but we need to make it more welcoming for data scientists, data analysts, and for those working in the midstream.
All right, so some of our roles and expectations for the subcommittees, and that is if you would like to volunteer with one of the portfolios that we were just presenting. Yeah, the opportunities are to have a voice in our activities. We're looking for people who are reliable and innovative, with fresh ideas and eagerness to help us plan and steer all the activities. Again, the time commitments, goals, and activities vary between each team, but at a very minimum, I think most teams meet once per month to evaluate their goals and further actions. I put the deadline to apply as August 30th so that we could have a good team to start in September, but the sooner you apply, the sooner the leads could come and start meeting you and building their teams and coming up with the goals that we want to do for next year. The director positions are a little bit more demanding. As you've probably heard, we've got a very high percentage of board positions opening up, and that would be the events, programs, energy literacy, sponsorship, as well as membership and recognition. The leads are expected to build their teams, be adaptable and flexible, really just because we don't know what's coming next year, as well as maintaining budgets and reporting back to the board each month with all of their activities, their accomplishments, and any roadblocks that they might be facing. The deadline to apply for a board position, a board of directors position, is May 15th, mainly just because we like to meet, interview, and select all of our board members so that they can be approved at our AGM on June 25th. And that's also going to be happening by webinar, unfortunately, but we'll work with it. So the next steps are to apply online. The website is calgary.spe.org, or you can address any questions about applications or anything related to this to contact us at specalgary.com. And I'd like to invite you to join us at our AGM. You could sign up. The registration page, I don't know if it's up yet. It's specalgary.com though, on June 25th. And the online applications are just here on our website. So you'll just go to join our team, and then you will see the different options. So as you've seen, the board of directors positions, the subcommittee positions, young professionals, or if you don't want to commit to any team but still want to become involved, there's the option to come on as a general volunteer. I'll also note that we'll likely post this webinar in this space here somewhere on this page. And yeah, so if you'd like to apply to a subcommittee, there's instructions on how to apply, as well as the application form, which is very quick and simple, as you can see. So name, company, choices, intents, and submit. So yes, don't forget to apply.
They're actually, I think the only other big one, yeah, I think Kim already answered how do we apply and if there's any email. So maybe Kim, if you could just revisit the page that has the website address, that would help, just in case. And the only other one I saw, a couple of people asked about, if they were not from Canada, if they could still volunteer. And so Kim, I'll let you answer that one.
Like, as in if they're not physically in Canada, or if they're just not from?
I think if you're physically like in Canada, but maybe not from Canada.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that's not a problem at all. I think like if you're overseas and wanting to volunteer with us, that'd be a little bit difficult. But I mean, if you're in town, most of our subcommittees require, physical work here, so it's a little bit harder if you aren't here, but yes, all are welcome.
Okay. Another question came in about if there's a limit to the number of people on each subcommittee, or does it change per committee?
I don't think we have any hard limits. My team, the energy literacy team, is enormous, and not everybody's as involved as others, but they still all contribute. I'd never say no to a good volunteer just because people join because they don't know what to expect, and then you never know, they might find that they have a lot more to give. And so I take most people that I think have the same interests as my committee. I could see some committees maybe not wanting to have too many people just because you get in a situation where you have too many ideas and it's harder to stay focused. But it's totally up to the team leads. And but yeah, personally, I wouldn't put any limit on any team.
Awesome. So one other question that came in was to confirm the deadline for non-board positions. I think you mentioned August 30th, but your slide actually says July 30th. So
does it?
if you could just confirm.
Yeah, this isn't really a hard deadline, but like the year starts in September, and I would prefer to have most of my teams well before the September 1st date, just so that we can start planning things. I think the sooner the better, just because I think the leads will start looking at them as they come in. But I mean, if someone comes in, does the website say different date? Yeah, if somebody applies later on in the year and they're fantastic, I don't see a team lead saying no. But again, it'll depend on the team lead.
Okay. So, and the only other one that I see here is asking about if the presentation is available on the website, and that one, Kristen has been working on getting all of our webinars up on our website. So you, as an SPE member, paid member, you'll be able to get access to actually all of the webinars. We just need a few more days to get that sorted out because it's actually a big job.
Awesome.
So I don't see any more questions here. If anybody else has a question, we'll maybe give it a couple more minutes to submit one. But other than that, I think that was all we had for everyone.
Great. If there's any more questions that you can think of that might trickle in, the email is contactus@specalgary.com. Thank you all for joining us, and we hope to see your applications, and we hope to meet you all in person very soon. So thanks again, and have a great weekend.